Welcome back to Catching Up with Katie. We are back here at home. I'm really actually excited to show you kind of the new spot we're developing for Catching Up with Katie / the KVS podcast. That'll be coming in the early months of 2025. Hopefully it's like early, but we'll see how fast it happens. But right now we're still kind of set up in my mom's, what once was the Airbnb. People made it weird. So now it's just for friends and family. But yeah, we're just going to be here and chat. If you don't know, Catching Up with Katie, we kind of give a rundown of what's happened on the farm, and it's weekly. And then we take questions from Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, and we ask them on here from y'all. So, and then we honestly usually just end up yapping for a good portion of it. If you don't watch Catching Up with Katie usually, the last episode was not here. It was in Oklahoma City. And so we all had a big trip last week. We went to watch Denver show his maiden voyage, and he was pretty awesome. So if you want to go watch that video, go do it. So yeah, we had a big week out of town, and then when we got home, we all kind of just crashed and had a couple of days to recoup and edit and things like that. And then we did a photo shoot. Abigail was a model. Nate was a model.
How you doing?
Matt was a model. We got all the girls like Rachel, Alyssa, Blaine even popped in. It was a really fun time. So those photos are going to be on my website after this. So you're all unpaid models.
I haven't even have we seen any of them yet?
No.
Like how they turned out?
No.
No?
Your Hinge profile is about to just be absolutely fire.
Oh, it's about to be
Is that true,
top-notch.
Nate? Are they good?
I haven't seen them either.
I
actually.
know of a few
No.
poses you did that are going to be fire.
A few poses. What was I doing?
I don't like we got some there was like one time when you were in the barn and you were just in front of a stall, but we got some genuine smiles out of you. And then we actually had some twin calves born as well. We've had two sets of twins now.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't even know that.
I didn't
We had a
know.
set of twins born yesterday. And
don't
so
know
we have two
nothing.
sets of twins now. And they're doing good. So it's been a little eventful.
How abnormal is that?
Honestly, I think I looked it up and it's like 10% of births are twins. It's less than that for healthy twins. We have luckily had some good luck with twins over the last few years. We've had 3 sets over the last 3 years. This is the first time we've ever had 2 sets in 1 year. Now, dairy farms or like larger operations than us see it pretty often, but I mean, for us, it's not something that's happened before. So, the one thing though is that both sets were a boy-girl setup, which means the girl is like 95% chance that she's infertile. Like she's going to be sterile.
Really?
Because of, you could correct me. I don't know every correct term for this, but essentially it's called a free Martin. So it happens when there's twins and one's a boy and one's a girl. The testosterone from the boy, it affects the reproductive organs and whatnot when she's being developed. So some of them come out like physically not having the anatomy they need. And then some of them, it's just kind of internally. They don't, work like they should. So
I was curious. So just in case anyone was wondering, the chance of people having twins is less than 2%.
Ooh. So cows, a little more.
In the United States, as it says, but
And I will say, because I think this question is probably going to come from the cows having twins, I've said multiple times about how we do not want twins with horses. And cows just tend to have a little more uterine space than a horse does. The babies, even though the mama cows are generally way more than our horses, the calves come out smaller usually, so there's usually room because in development they have to be able to move around to develop correctly, and sometimes in a horse there's just no room for that to happen, and so they either come out with deformed legs, one twin takes all the nutrients and the other one comes out dead. I don't know, there's just lots of scenarios and almost none of them end with healthy twins. It happens, but it's not something that's good.
yeah.
So anyway, heavy subjects at the beginning. Let's get into, I know that there were some questions after the video posted of Denver showing, after us showing all of that, there were some questions that were heavily asked. So
Ask away.
Sorry.
That's over to you, Abigail.
So someone asked, when is he being offered for stud services? They have a maiden 8-year-old that they think would be a great fit.
Ooh.
But they don't show.
Oh, okay.
So they said they didn't know if that was a deal breaker.
For Denver's first couple of foal crops, we are being a little more picky, I would say. Because, so here's the thing. With Waylon, VS Code Red, the only criteria your mare has to meet is they have to be registered. They have to be a registered quarter horse, paint, Appaloosa, or thoroughbred. So the main reason I make it that way for him is because he's already proven himself. He already has plenty of babies out there that are absolutely phenomenal. There is no more proving needing to be done. And who am I to tell someone that even though their mare hasn't shown, or even though their mare is a thoroughbred and can't show, or, whatever, even though their mare isn't a show horse, that she's not a high quality horse? Who am I to tell them that that mare isn't worthy? You know what I'm saying? That's very much up to the owner. I have mares that I've bred that never showed. So I can't in a right conscience make it to where you can't breed to Waylon unless your horse showed. There's some of the best brood mares out there that have ever produced were injured as weanlings, were, never shown or whatever. And then they went straight to broodmare life, and then they produced some of the best horses out there. So that's why I don't make that for Waylon. But for Denver, let me just start from the beginning. We don't even have semen yet. So here's my thought process with that. Denver's only 3. Usually he's probably going to have fine semen, but they don't really hit full maturity reproductively until about 5. So his semen production could really get better over the next couple of years. So we just sent him to select breeders yesterday. So he is there. He has to learn how to be collected. So
that was another question, was how do you teach them to mount the dummy?
I don't know. I don't know.
I was like, I don't think we have the answer.
I don't know. I was saying this yesterday. I wish I could be a fly on the wall. I think I'd actually be a little nervous though too. So why we sent him to select breeders is because they have a dummy that is identical to the one that High Point uses, and they offer training, and they have a padded room so that if he falls or stumbles into a wall, it's padded.
That's
so
crazy.
They have to teach him how to do it. Then they run all these tests on his semen. There are so many variables that go into freezing, because with Denver, he's not done showing. We are far from being done showing him. He only showed once, very much proved his talent. So that's why we are going ahead with the plan of collecting him. But he's very much we want to show him for years to come. And so I don't want him distracted with having to be collected fresh next year in the midst of trying to be trained. So we are doing about 2 months of collecting, freezing it, and only offering frozen semen this coming year. And so they have to test his semen with all these different variables, like the extender they use with it, the rate at which they freeze the semen. I don't even know all the variables, but I know there's multiple things, and they have to test it to see which combination works for him to keep the best quality. So they've got to do all that. We're kind of embarking on that journey right now. So this coming year, I'm not even saying what his stud fee is or how many mares we're going to open him up to until we know what his semen looks like. I don't want to put the cart before the horse. I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, so that we've started the process,
Do you think that taking that break to collect this winter, that 2-month break, is going to affect how he acts afterwards?
I would hope not. So
I'm trying to decide if I think it would jazz him up going forward or calm him down.
I feel like he would be like, oh, wait.
This would have been missing out
women?
on?
This is women?
But he's not even really getting a woman.
This is what I get from women? No.
Well, because you saw on the collection with Waylon, they do have a mare there
right.
he gets to sniff on.
Yeah.
He gets to
But But
smell it.
It's like he's making that connection now that like, oh, there's a female horse.
Right.
Now I get to go do this.
Yeah.
You know, there is some, you know, that they say, oh, he doesn't even know he's a stud yet because he hasn't collected. So we'll see. But I will say High Point, Select Breeders, Aaron, they all have so much experience with stallions that stay performing that they have. I mean, all the stallions that they work with, I've noticed are so well behaved, and they are there to act like a normal horse, except for like when they're in one little space. Mm-hmm. So like with Waylon, when I go visit him, they're like, you can take him anywhere on this property and he is going to act fine. Do not take him down this one alley, because that alley is where he goes down when he's going to collect. And so he knows like, oh, I can be a little, you know, a little more amped up.
So maybe the association isn't necessarily with mares, but with a room or...
Yeah.
That's the hope. The hope is, and that is why right now I didn't want to collect him fresh this coming year, because if he was at Aaron's house and then every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday we trailered him over to High Point to collect, we didn't want him thinking that every time he gets on a trailer, he's going to go do what he likes to do, you know? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to keep it really black and white for him for a while until he, you know, solidifies into it. So he gets this 2-month break. It's going to be great for him. He has been working so hard towards that goal of the world show that he needs a physical break. And then, you know, he can really focus on this new task. And then hopefully his semen is plentiful and quality enough that we can be done after January. And he can quit doing that until, you know, a few months later or whatever. Like if he gets a break, then he'll go collect a little bit more or whatever. But then he can focus back on riding, and then he has to be a good boy then, you know? Yeah. So that's the hope.
Can you explain what about him makes him so good for those of us with an untrained eye?
Me.
I think one thing is like his level-headedness. You know, there was, I saw some stallions at the Congress, at the World Show that are his same age that were honestly a lot nastier looking. That, you know, they'd pin their ears, they would wring their necks. You could tell immediately that's a stallion. Whereas with Denver, I really feel like, other than his neck, like his neck's thick, but other than that, I don't feel like his demeanor ever gives him away. I think he is like the same all the time. Aaron even said, he's like, he's a little dumb. he's like the hot jock, you know? Yeah. Talented, hot.
Is a thick neck like a defining feature?
Yeah, the testosterone.
I didn't know that.
Like their neck is thicker. They'll have a bigger jaw.
They got them big jaw.
Is that like relatable to people? Like does the testosterone level
I don't know
make
a lot
your
of castrated
big?
people, so I don't know.
This is true.
I mean, like you said, the testosterone. Like if you have more testosterone,
the
does it make your neck
testosterone
big?
makes them gain more muscle than fat. So like if someone has a hormonal imbalance as a man where they don't make as much testosterone or they have a higher level of estrogen, they're probably going to carry more fat on their body. So same thing with horses. So his neck is muscled. His whole body is more muscled than when you geld a horse. You'll notice like old geldings, they tend to have a pot belly or they're like a little fatter. It's because of the lack of testosterone. But so what makes him good? Not just his demeanor. He is very conformationally correct. So meaning the way he's put together. And that's why he won the halter class in the Pleasure Versatility Challenge, is because of the correctness of his body. So how his neck ties into his chest, how straight his legs are, the angles of his pasterns, the angles of his hocks, there's just so many different variables that go into him being a very correct, put together horse. So that's always something that you want to look for when breeding a horse. You want a sound, conformationally correct horse. Then his movement. So different discipline. Oh, excuse me. So sorry.
What is a pastern?
It's like a lower part of their leg, like their ankle-ish area.
Okay.
I'll have to point it out to you to really show you.
I had no idea what that was.
The only reason you know is because we just did something about it. So you're like, God, wasting our time.
Amateur.
So, he's just got a lot of really good foundational attributes to pass on to offspring. And then, so mind, conformation, movement. I don't want to be biased right now, but he is such a phenomenal mover for an all-around AQHA horse. So an all-around quarter horse. So athletic, long fluid strides, very level top line. So a lot of the times, so you watched him in the pleasure when they really slowed him down. He's not sitting there going like up and down as he moves. He's moving forward and fluidly. Some people aren't going to like how slow he went. And he does, in my opinion, I like him moving more forward. In the pleasure class, I talked to Aaron about it afterwards, and he was like, honestly, he was so tired. Like, I tried to push him more forward, and he was like just dead. It was a lot to throw at a young horse, to do the pattern and then, and so to me, his ability to move so slow and long at the same time and hold his collection in his body at all three gates is just such a key piece to not just the Western pleasure, not just the Western riding, to literally anything that he could do as an all-arounder. So yeah, I just think he's got it all, basically. Mind, movement, conformation. That's all you could ask for, really.
And I think I missed a lot of the movement
because you're filming
in person, because we were filming, and so I really feel like I only got to watch a lot of the other horses, but going back through the footage and like editing and getting to watch it there, I noticed a lot more of those things that you were just talking about.
Right.
And it was cooler for me to, I guess, watch the footage because that's how I just get to experience things.
You get to experience them secondhand, even though you're there for it.
Yeah.
My mom I didn't never understand, because she used to tell me that, because she would film all of my, like, that's how you get better. If you're at a horse show, someone films you so you can go back and watch yourself and see your mistakes or what you did good. And so she would always film my patterns or film my, sorry, I just burped. But anyway, she would film my classes. He's going to leave it in.
I think the mic picked that up.
I'll turn it up.
And so she would be like, I don't even know what your pattern looked like. I'm like, well, you filmed it. She's like, I'll have to go watch it, So I get it now.
If someone requested a live cover of their mare from Denver or Wayland, would you consider it?
No. Unfortunately.
What's the reasoning?
So we only offer artificial insemination. It gets a lot. Okay, so I'll put some personal experiences in here. There's multiple reasons. One, we run a tight ship. Christy runs a tight ship at High Point.
Yes, she does.
So they have 40-something stallions to manage. They are all so well taken care of on breeding days. They know their job. Wayland takes 3 minutes to go do his job, and that one collection can breed up to like 9 to 11 mares, depending on the day. So it would really throw a wrench in things to have one mare get an entire collection, and we have like it's just, it doesn't make sense time-wise. That's number one. Number two, if you'll watch the video of Wayland, we did a day in the life of Wayland, and he collected and whatnot on video. They are so sterile with everything they do. They sterilize everything. Everything is about cleanliness. And horses can have diseases they give to each other. They can have infections. They can have all kinds of things. It is not personally worth it to me to risk that for one breeding. Now, thoroughbreds, you can set it up to where, the mares are checked. They're clean. And that's fine. Thoroughbreds have to breed live. So every breeding has to be, a live covering. So there's pluses and minuses to both. But with Wayland, A, time-wise, B, just making sure that everything is sterile and clean and healthy and things like that. And then B, so my mom, 1, 2, B. That's the way I go. 1, 2, B. B, we had a stud when I was younger, and we did live covering. He was a ranch horse, and my mom and dad would offer him to stud. And so he had a mare, and she was hobbled. They had her in, like they didn't they knew what they were doing, and they were working with a really awesome thoroughbred farm down the road as well for guidance, and they had all like seemingly with everything they needed. They had the mare hobbled. They did the live covering. The mare, I was very young, so I'm not sure the logistics of how she kicked him, but she kicked him in the side. All seemed okay. It just seemed like a normal whatever. The next day, he was dead in his stall, and they did a necropsy, and his liver head burst from her kicking him just right. So there's just not a reason for me to do it.
Too many unnecessary risks.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
And that's what I was about to say. Those words exactly.
Should have been a little quicker on it. Do you kind of wish we didn't have him in on it?
Yeah, sometimes I want to say something, and then you just kind of steal it from me. It's kind of like you just have that little camera over there.
I do have the smallest one.
That little
I have the smallest one. I thought we just needed a pizzazz factor.
I would be sad if you weren't on it.
But I do want to clarify though. There are plenty of people that live cover and do it healthily and very cleanly, and it works. I'm not knocking it. I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm just saying for the system we have right now with the place we have the stallions, it just probably wouldn't be worth doing.
Okay.
Do you have any plans to show Denver next? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Do you have any plans to show First Things First next year?
And to clarify, it's First Things First with a Z.
Yeah, with a Z.
With a Z. So, yeah, I do. I've talked about it quite a bit on TikTok and Facebook and whatnot, but I don't know if I've talked about it very much on YouTube. So I have not ever owned like a Western pleasure horse. All of my all-arounders growing up were that. They were all-arounders, or they had previous careers as hunter under saddle horses. They were definitely more big English horses that I did the all-around with, meaning patterns and whatnot. So I've never had a pleasure horse that was actually meant to do the Western pleasure. Like I would take my big hunt seaters in there for the all around to get extra points, and it would be laughable. So I'm excited for that journey. It's gonna be something new for me. It's going to be something new for Denver because he didn't show it this year. And so we're going to work on that. I'm hopefully going to practice with him quite a bit going into this coming spring. I probably won't show him until either really late foaling season or after foaling season's over with. I'm really excited. I get to get an outfit. I haven't had an outfit in years and years. So I'm talking with someone in the next month about making one. I'm really excited about that and figuring out like the colors for him and stuff. And then I'll show him in the halter. I think he's going to do really well in the halter. So the performance stallions, and I'm an amateur, and then, Aaron or, I'm trying to convince Aaron to show him in the halter in the open. But then also, he, I think, is going to be the best in Western riding and the trail. And so while I'm going to be showing him in the pleasure, Aaron's probably going to show him in the pleasure as well. We are also going to start working on his career in the Western riding and trail. I don't know at what point he's going to start showing in it next year, but that's the plan. I don't plan on him retiring anytime soon. And that was another thing, is a lot of people I saw being like, why are you breeding him so young? Like, why are you starting to breed him when he's only shown once? And so I kind of already said that, our plan was to collect him. Him performing so well his first time out solidified us doing that. And that's why we'll probably have like a small group of mares that we breed this coming year. And then going forward, I want to keep showing him because of all the great things I already see about him is why I think he's worthy to breed to. And I have Trudy, Erlene, and Annie that I'll be breeding to him this coming year. But I think he's going to have a long show career ahead of him. So, and I want to be a part of it. And I haven't shown in forever. So I think I'm novice. I don't think I can show a stallion a novice, but I am novice. So
It'll be fun.
because I've been out of it for 10 years.
In the realm of all the different classes and things like that, is there a unspoken hierarchy of like this one's better than this one, like the Western Pleasure versus the Trail? Is there like say, oh well, Western Pleasure is like if you can get a good horse in that's the peak?
I wouldn't say within the disciplines. So they each have their own really hard aspects to themselves. The Western Pleasure, Western Riding, Trail, Horsemanship, Equitation, Hunter to Saddle, the Hunter classes. Like they all, within the all-around horse, they all have very different aspects to them that make them difficult in their own right. So you can have a horse that's super good in one that doesn't really do well in the other. So I think between the classes, I don't think so. Now, there are levels. So the highest of the best horses, I would say, is the level 3 senior division. So that means the horse is 6 years or over. So they've been doing it.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing. Level 3 means, like, that's the highest level. And senior's an open class, so the professionals show in it. So because I've been out of it for so long, at one point I was level 3 in everything. I could not show in the level 2 or the level 1 because I had too many points. But being out of things for 10 years, I'm back down to level 2 and level 1 in everything. So like all the classes that I had a bunch of superiors in, a superior is 50 points. So like the equitation, I had multiple superiors in, where I was ineligible to show in the level 1 or level 2 for a really long time. I've been out so long that they've put me back down in those bottom levels.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
Level 3 senior.
Yeah. So like the level 3 senior trail, which we watched, one of the toughest classes of the whole show.
I got you.
Yeah.
And so each.
So there was level 1, there was level 2 senior, there was like at the Congress, because they have even more divisions. So level 3, I believe, is on the rider, or I think it's on the horse in the open divisions. So it depends on the horse's points. Whereas at the Congress, they have limited versus not limited. So they'll have the regular version of the class, and then they'll be like, oh, and then we're having the limited finals on a different day. So they take all of the people out of that class that haven't won X amount of money, and then they like get to show. So let's say there was 5 people in the top 10 of the regular that hadn't won X amount of money. They plus the 5 people that were kicked out of the top 10 get to go be in the finals. So there's like a limited division, which I'm in. So it makes it a little bit easier for the small fish to get in there and like build themselves up.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, I understand classes and levels a little more now.
Yeah, I don't know that I am explaining it the best.
I know more than I did.
Yeah. There's youth, which is 18 and under. There's amateur, which is 19 through 50. There's select amateur, which is 50 through 51 through.
I'm just amateur.
Yeah. And then there's level 1 amateur, level 2 amateur, level 3, level 1, level 2, level 3 youth. Like, you know.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yep. And I love that they started adding walk trot and everything, because now I feel like it's become that much more accessible to
And that's
people.
what I'll be showing in?
Yes. We had a great idea. That is super, we could do it.
Okay.
Okay. So in the last Catching Up with Katie, when we were in Oklahoma, we had mentioned a horse show, even if it's at home, everyone riding. We could do a step before that, just for a little added comfort for everyone to be around each other, a halter class.
Ooh.
So the confirmation. So you're just leading them.
Yeah.
And you're trying to set their feet together. You're judged on presenting the horse, on the horse's confirmation. Y'all would each have to choose your horse that you thought had the best confirmation.
Who would you choose?
Who would you choose that you think
For the
has the best
halter class?
confirmation? Like you'd have to go through and you have to choose who I would be the judge.
I would
We'd have to draw straws.
If I was actually trying to win.
Who would you choose for the halter?
For the halter?
Don't betray your heart.
Probably Kennedy, if you were the judge.
She's a good option. I'm not going to tell you what they are. She does have a couple things that if you choose the right mare, she would get second.
Annie. I knew it was one of them.
I would pick Annie because it's the only one that I've seen.
That's shown.
If you had a bunch of horses and you say, okay, well, we're going to let my friend's daughter show on a horse and we're picking Annie.
Yeah.
I'm picking Annie.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with...
Right, but
it does have stuff to do with
seemed
it.
like the best.
Okay, but he doesn't know that with a saddle on, she's great. On the ground, she's a bit of heifer.
But see, now that would make me nervous and I would try to trade later.
Mm-hmm.
See, Ethel would be a great option for docility. Confirmation. Who do you think? Matt would choose Happy. Happy's not... She's got pretty good confirmation, but I don't know that she would... I don't know that she would listen to him in the slightest.
I mean, Trudy, maybe.
Trudy would be good.
Trudy.
Trudy looks really nice. She's a little fat at the moment, but that's fine.
Scared of her.
I'm scared of her. That's why
You're scared of Trudy?
A little scared
She's
of her.
so big.
No one's choosing Bo.
No. Unfortunately, no.
No.
Beyonce, if she was, like, rideable.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. Not because
I wish
that's who I would want to pick, just because I feel like she maybe looks.
she would take care of you if she was still at her soundest. Like if she was still sound, I'd still be showing her. She wouldn't even be a broodmare. But
it got so dark. It's making me like a little
So dark where?
a little like cozy.
when did it get dark?
It seems like the sun went down.
Oh, in here it got dark?
Look through the
Yeah.
window.
Well, no, I mean it seems darker in here.
It's like 2 p.m.
Well, I know. I didn't mean it got dark outside. I just meant darker.
It's just the aura.
The aura.
There's aura in the room.
It's just the vibe.
I want someone to
vibes.
tell me what color my aura is. I don't know if I have one.
I don't even know what that means.
My initial thought was blue, but I don't know why. I don't know what it. I don't know what it means.
either.
I would say Nate's is green or yellow.
I thought yellow.
Everyone's weird.
I think yours is
Lime green.
Lime green.
Okay, actually,
But okay.
Nate. I would say Nate's is red. If I was just, I would say I don't know why you give red. To
Jonathan's is OD green.
me. Yep.
He bleeds OD green.
OD green and
What color do I give off?
I actually would have said lime green.
Like lime specifically?
No, like what you're wearing. Anytime I see something that's that color specifically, I'm like, this is so Abigail. And I show it to you usually, and you're like, I like it.
I don't know. Don't take offense to this.
He's going to say like
black.
No, I like this color. This is a good color
mustard.
for me. Like a light brown.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
Like a healthy poop. Why do we come back to poop every episode?
Every time.
Last one was laxatives. The one before, like we've
Oh,
talked about it in every
gosh.
episode. Okay, let's get off of that subject.
Those laxatives
That was crazy.
messed me up.
I still don't know why they chose 6 hours before the event we were there for.
Living on the edge.
The only event we were there for.
I just trusted
They
what
took
Nate
laxatives
said.
6 hours before it.
I just trusted Nate, and he let me down.
No, it wasn't that. It was something else. Guaranteed.
I don't think it was. I think
It was supposed to work overnight in 6 to 12 hours. That was only 3 hours later.
No, it wasn't.
it was 6 hours. You
It
took them
was.
at noon. The thing started at 6. The planning was terrible. You're like, it was supposed to work in 6 to 12 hours.
I think in
Yeah,
our minds,
they did.
In our minds, when we took that, it was like 3 p.m.
I think it was.
But in reality, it was like 11. Because none of us were like, maybe we should wait. Like, we
Yeah,
all
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
see an issue with it. And now it's
But
like, okay.
I also want to point out, no one consulted anyone else.
It was in the car. Everyone was in the car together.
You were there
Yeah, you were.
at the time of consuming.
We were all in the car.
I did not hear you say, "Hey, y'all,
Weren't
let's
whispering.
take laxatives together."
I turn around and say, "Have a go. You want one?"
Okay,
Yeah.
but like, I didn't know if you just wanted a mint. I don't know.
Nah.
Nah, that wasn't it.
Cough drops. I don't know. Could have been anything.
You are slinging some cough drops.
I wish I had them with me right now.
Me too.
Those strawberry cream.
Yes.
Anywho, this was just a random comment that I thought you would like to hear.
Okay.
It says, I keep forgetting you are 28. You're so mature and older looking. But I think they meant it as a compliment. But I just wanted you to know.
When I hit like 26, my entire life I've been told I look older, I act older, whatever. When I hit about 25, 26 is when I no longer wanted to hear that I looked older. And
I feel like for the most part, almost everyone says you look younger than you are.
I don't know. I really don't. Like I've looked, I feel like other than fluctuating in weight, I feel like I don't look much different than I did 4 years ago. Like, I don't know. I look back at pictures. I'm like, yeah, I could post that right now,
Yeah.
So I don't know. Thanks.
Just wanted you to know.
What
Thank
about
you.
me?
No one said anything about you.
You're
I
30.
did see
I'm
a few
30.
comments that I think were about you, but they said Matt, so I don't
There's
know.
been some confusion. There has been some Nate Matt
This
confusion.
is Nate.
This is Nate.
Hey.
Nate. Matt, I don't know why he doesn't believe that you've been here since the beginning.
I actually went back to the very first episode and I watched it and I'm in it.
Yeah.
I'm on camera in the first episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So take that, Matt. Because he was like, I don't believe you the other day. I was like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, he was there.
I was there.
But yeah, so Matt, for the longest time, it was like, oh yeah, Matt started first and then Nate joined. Well, when it's been 2 years and there was really only a month overlap of that, you've been around the exact same time. So Matt, you'll see him in the last couple of episodes, rock and stash without the beard. How would you describe Matt for them?
Pale.
Pale.
Brunette,
Pale.
skinny, mustache, probably hat.
Nate's the redhead.
Tattoos.
Red tint.
See, but besides brunette and redhead, all of these descriptions I'm giving are both of them. Skinny, probably hat, mustache, tattoos.
Matt is mustache without beard.
Yeah, I let it go a little bit.
Sometimes
I like
Nate's
it.
just mustache.
I think you should keep the beard going.
I was mustache for a couple months.
Yeah.
I like the
You like
level
beard?
of beard at this moment.
Should
And I
I
think-
keep it about this length?
I do, and I think because if you go too long while you're growing your hair out, you'll just look homeless.
Yeah, I will.
You got to have some like neck,
Yeah.
neck shaving to it a little bit. You got to keep some clean cutness to your
Right.
facial hair while you're growing your hair out. I'm so excited for Nate's mullet.
Bringing it back.
We need photos to pop up.
Okay, I can do that. I have mullet pics.
So we need a mullet pic. Right there.
Yeah, you're getting it.
You cut it for your wedding, didn't you?
Yeah, I cut it before. It wasn't for the wedding. I just looked in the mirror one day and I didn't like it. And so I just went that day and cut it off.
It was in your engagement photos though, because I've
Yes.
seen those photos,
Yes.
and it was full.
It was
Full mullet.
full strength.
Yeah. Is Macy excited for the mullet to return?
I don't know if she really believes that I'll make it that long.
If we all tell you that you won't do it, is that what's going to cause
But
you to do it?
I will say this. I don't know how long I will grow out my hair. But when I get to the point that I think my hair is long enough and I want to cut it off, I will go mullet before I cut it short. So if I grow it another 4 inches and I'm like, I think it's long enough for me this time, I'll go mullet. So whenever I get tired of growing it, mullet first.
Okay. What do we need to do to get you to go further, though? Do we need to not believe in you? Do we need to verbally tell you that you can't do it?
No, I'll know it's fake.
Oh.
Well,
Casting doubt. I think I'll do it. I mean, I'm currently on board. I don't see any. I'm pretty resolved.
You know what I think is going to do it? You know what I think is going to make you absolutely go, nope, not doing this? The ironclad baby fist that is going to grab your locks that you're growing out and not let go. I think that is what is going to cause you to absolutely unravel.
It might.
Because there ain't no opening that.
No.
Little baby fist, little sweaty baby fist.
They're so strong. You
Like,
can't.
or
You can't get a
little
finger in
slobbery,
there.
snotty baby
A
fist.
little slobbery baby fist holding your hair. That thing is impenetrable.
And they're just
Yeah.
they're going at it.
into a wall.
Like, is she okay? Let's see. At 2 months old, is she grabbing things yet, or I don't know what like stages?
Like if you put your finger out, she'll grab it.
Yeah, is it like
It doesn't feel that strong yet.
because they get to a point where like
Yeah,
you can't combat them.
she's not there yet.
I think it's because they don't. Their little brain doesn't tell them like, oh, maybe ease up.
No.
Like they just go full.
My first thing I always do whenever I see someone's baby, like to introduce myself, is give it my finger.
Yeah,
And it just does a little,
it's the way to go.
and then we're like bonded.
Yeah.
Are you gonna like my baby when I have one?
No. No, I'm sure I will.
Kimmy's gonna hate it.
Yeah.
I think she'll hate it
Yeah.
and then she'll love it because she hated Winnie and then she loved Winnie.
I want it to be a boy.
Why would you put that on me?
Because I want it to be a boy. Why don't you?
Because I braid hair too good. I no makeup. I just feel like a girl mom.
Well, I think you should have both. But
Well,
I think
I'll
it
just
would
go
be,
ahead and tell my uterus.
I
to
think
cook that right up.
You should plan for both, but I think a boy first would be
Okay,
the
I
best
will agree with
case
you.
scenario.
If I could guarantee I was having two, and one was gonna be a boy, one was gonna be a girl. If that was
I think
guaranteed to
everyone-
me,
yeah.
I would do boy 1st hands down. Older brother,
Yeah.
heck yeah, absolutely. I would rather have an older brother than a younger brother,
Yeah, I always wanted an older brother.
especially like if I could have had a sibling, I would have chosen an older brother who was like 18 months older than me, and then he would bring. Hopefully, he wouldn't be a weirdo, and he'd have hot friends, and then that would have been great.
Yeah.
That's what my
Yeah, I wish you had
Plan
a
had
hot
been.
brother.
I mean, it definitely made you way cooler. I think if you had an attractive sibling that was older than you, either way, you were cooler. Especially
Yeah.
if they picked you up from school. And you're like, yo,
Whoa.
that's his sister.
Yeah, I remember thinking
That's her
about that.
brother.
I remember thinking that about people.
Yeah.
Like being like, they're so
They're
cool.
so cool.
I wish that
I
was my
did
older brother.
have like a smidge of that with my cousins. So we all went to the same Christian school growing up, and they were all older than me. I was the next to youngest, and this is a funny story actually. This is like the closest I ever got to having like a brother save me. Okay, so we're still very close. All of my cousins are close. Like I'm hosting Thanksgiving this year. All my cousins, their spouses, children. It's gonna be 30 people. We were all just extremely close growing up. So I very much felt like I had some semblance of like a sibling relationship without having to live with them. So like I still got beat up or like terrorized on a regular basis. And I had one do it too. So I was in 6th grade. I won't use names in case they're watching. They probably aren't, but they're probably in jail. So, so I had a bully in 6th grade. He was mean. It was a boy though too. It wasn't even a girl. He was mean, and it never did turn into, oh, they just like you, honey. No, this kid was just rancid. Okay, and so he was being so mean to me. Was talking about me to other people. It wasn't even just to my face. And so one of my cousin's neighbors in their neighborhood was in my grade. And so they like drove to school together sometimes, and they'd known each other their whole life. So this kid had, defended me a little bit and told my cousins what this kid was doing to me. And so they took it upon themselves to come. It was all in like the same building. Like it was a K through 12 private school. And so they came from the high school side over to the 11th, like the 11-year-old, like the 6th grade side down the hallway. And they were like posted up outside my homeroom door waiting on this kid. And like, cause it's kind of like adults can only do so much, but these like, I think they were 14 and 16,
and they're like, as a little kid, I would be more intimidated for some reason.
Yeah.
From a high schooler.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you kidding me?
And they were both on the football team.
Yeah.
And they're, and I think they stood outside and posted up and waited for this kid. And then I don't know what words were said, but he never picked on me again. and like, I mean, I do feel like that was the best option than getting parents involved. Like, I think parents involved, it would have just made him more mean to me. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Were you a bully, Abigail?
Do you think I was?
I was just asking if you were a bully in school. People change,
I could not see you being a bully.
No.
Were you a bully?
I think a little bit.
Oh, no.
I was both.
Were you an insecure bully?
What does that mean?
Like you're bullying people out of your own insecurities?
Probably because I got bullied too.
Yeah.
So you were like mid-level and then you'd beat up on the little ones below you?
So it depended on, I was in a lot of circles in school. And depending on what circle I was in, I would be at a different level within that group. And so I think if I was at high level, I was probably tended to act a little more like a bully. And if I was at mid or lower, I had a tendency to either not get bullied or get bullied. And so I think in some instances, I probably was a little bit of, mostly out of attempts at humor, I think.
Right.
At other people's expense. I think I would do that some.
I can remember the only thing that I can look back on and be like, oh, I really wish I hadn't done that. I really wish my character had been better than that. There was a couple times where I participated in gossip to try to be included. Mm-hmm. And I really wish I had not done that.
It's so hard not to do at that age.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I bullied people, but I was very much in like a group of gossipy girl friends. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But like I look back and that's one thing that I'm like that person that I helped. I didn't start it, but I helped spread this thing about because I talked and like didn't like I wish I looked back on that and my character had been high enough that I would have been like, guys, we don't need to do this, Yeah.
Same. And I don't know. I feel like I wish that I had been more friendly to people because I wasn't really mean, but I also was just very awkward and like didn't go out of my way to like talk to people, and I think it came across as kind of, you can bleep this at times, but like I don't think I was ever just outright like mean to people. Mm-hmm. It was just kind of.
I can't look back. Kind of same. I can't look back on what's so crazy is I was not like myself in school. I
wasn't either. Looking back now, I don't feel like I was, but I mean, obviously change a lot.
Mm-hmm. I was very much myself in college. Was not myself in middle school and high school. And I think a little bit of being bullied was into that. So it was like, I'd rather just be quiet than, someone make fun of me or whatever. Mm-hmm. Okay, I kind of had a flashback. I wasn't going to say anything about this, but I had a flashback during the photo shoot. So at the end of it, when Matt and Nate were being funny and they were like smizing and like doing it up, okay? They were like, I don't know, they had me in stitches. Mm-hmm. I was laughing so hard. I had a moment of realization that I was laughing way harder than anyone else, louder. I was in my own little
gosh,
element.
I knew you were going to say this.
And I was like, I shouldn't have laughed that hard. I should have like...
I could tell you were overthinking it because you've mentioned it probably like 3 times.
Because
to
that's
me.
what would happen to me in
Yeah.
middle school or high school. I would like think something was so funny and like laugh really hard and like just get in my own little thing. And then like people would just be like, are you okay? Like, it's not that funny. Like, blah, 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 blah. Or like would like make fun of me then for laughing.
yeah.
And like I had a little like insecure flashback during that. And it's crazy. I'm like, I'm almost 30 years old.
Yeah.
And
Almost 30, a little afraid to laugh at your own house.
yeah.
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 It's
crazy.
crazy. It's crazy, like, how much of an effect all those things that when you were younger
Yeah.
continue to have and then carries with you.
Yeah. So if you are an adolescent watching this right now, didn't mean for this to turn into like a PSA, but like you will never regret being the nice kid. You will never regret being the person that goes and talks to someone that doesn't have a friend. You will never regret being kind, ever. You won't regret it.
You won't.
And looking back, we are not, I would say we're adults, but we're not so far out of school that we don't remember what school was like. We're sitting here and still talking about like high school bullies and things and like very vivid memories. I can look back still and say to you, like, I wish I was the kid that didn't gossip. And I wish I was the kid that was just always had a smile on my face for somebody or had a kind word for somebody. Being remembered for that, being a bright light in some, you never know what's going on at kids' homes. You never know what's going on behind closed doors. Like, you will just never regret being kind. So just putting that out there. As adults looking back, like that's what I wish I could look back and say that I was, like, always.
Yeah.
And I think I let my own insecurities get in my way of being other people's light.
Same.
Not to bring the vibe down anymore, but on a more serious note, this what you just said made me think about this. But I had a friend who passed away a few weeks ago, and that is like the one thing that me and like everyone else that knew her, the one thing that like we remember about her is that she was so like just always had a smile, and like that's what everyone remembers for her. She was so nice to always had like a nice word for like anyone, and always had a smile, and like that's what we remember her for. And like I don't remember a single bad thing about her or negative thing about her. And so over the past few weeks I've just been like, I really want to for people to remember me that way,
Right.
So just a little.
Well, I saw a funny meme the other day. It was like, if I die before my time, y'all better not lie and say I lit up a dang room. Like,
they always lit up a room. And I'm sure a lot of people did. But yeah. I saw that too.
I was like,
don't lie to them. I did not light up a room.
yeah. So I don't know. Like it is crazy. Like I like she said, I've mentioned it a couple of times being like, I was embarrassed that I let myself get that geeked out.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh no, they all think I'm weird now, but I'm almost 30 in my own house.
Yeah. I also have an issue with like anytime anyone says something that is intended as a joke or is intended to make people laugh at all, I have a problem with like feeling like I have to laugh. Because I think that probably comes from like
you feel like you have to
being
laugh.
younger and making jokes and not having people think they were funny.
So when there's like a smidge of a delay when I say something and then you go,
yeah. So, just so both of you know, it's not always real. No, usually it is.
That's
but
okay.
like
we're just silent.
There's
we're just like,
I was gonna make a joke, but
sorry.
I could have gone without knowing that.
Okay, well,
no,
just pretend like I didn't say it.
I appreciate knowing that. I assume that about everyone. I fake laugh myself sometimes. I think everyone fake laughs at certain things. I think it's customary to just chuckle.
Yeah,
if someone
it's
makes
just
an attempt at a
because
joke.
like whenever I do and people don't laugh, it is the worst feeling. So like I never want anyone else to feel like they're not being laughed.
Like, what do you think the ratio of real to fake is?
I would say very rarely do I have to force myself to chuckle at things? Usually, if something's got like a little bit of humor in it, I can pretty easily find the humor in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I just don't like actually like laugh.
I can tell your laugh off of your chuckle. I can. Like there's a big difference.
Yeah.
The real laugh is like his. It comes very easily. Mm-hmm. Or I'm just really funny. Yours, was that fake or was that real? I don't even know anymore.
I can't laugh or not laugh at anything now.
That's right.
I can tell you're like for real laugh, but that doesn't come as often. So I have to work really hard for it.
But doesn't that make you feel better when you get it? It's like kind of like a reward.
Like that's your real one.
Yeah.
Anyway, for the next week now, I'm going to be like, real. Fake. I hope y'all enjoyed today's episode. We are really excited for what's to come in 2025, and we couldn't be here without y'all, so we're really thankful for you. I hope you're safe this coming week with Thanksgiving and traveling and spending time with family, and I'll see you in the next one.